But as the day when the world declared in one voice, we will not go quietly into the night, we will not vanish without a fight, we're going to live on. We're going to survive. Today, we celebrate our Independence Day.
No, it's not true.
It doesn't matter what's true. It matters the story they tell when you're gone.
I keep on pushing down my gypsy road.
All right. Just added a little fun, little extended little intro to it. So we're back. I'm back from vacation. Bob took a vacation from me, so I know Bob's well rested. Bigfoot still came out with video, so he's been on his own little vacation. So it's awesome to be back. It's fun. I know I said I'll try to do like a show last week, but when you're meeting family, right, you're at people's houses like 3-4 hours, and it's just, but at least I was able to, I uploaded a video yesterday, and we're going to talk more about it probably in the second half of the show about some of the cool history that I was involved with. And I know when you look at the title, for most people, a lot of people judge shows by the titles. And I know when you read this title, 1849 Central College, McGraw, New York, features with radical anti-slavery and equality of sexes. A lot of people just don't care. And I wish people would care because...
Yeah, I'm one of them. I don't care.
I wish people would care because
I don't care about it. I don't care.
There's a lot of history in these small towns. There's a lot of great history that people just don't talk about. It kind of reminds me of like the movie Michael, where he's an angel going cross country and going to all these cities, all these little small towns with the biggest twine, the biggest cooking pot, whatever. I love stuff like that, and it's just exciting. And I'm actually going to be so if you haven't checked out that video from yesterday, watch it, because it's a mix of little paranormal, little fun. I went to a lot of private graveyards during my vacation that's actually owned by homeowners. The one I was posting on Instagram is actually owned by my wife's grandma. They own that graveyard on Instagram.
Oh, we're gonna dig it up then.
I'll probably put together. It's actually owned by family, and it's just weird owning a graveyard that goes back to the 1800s. Now, I do have another video that I have to put together. I'm going to be launching it hopefully by this weekend. It's a Bigfoot hunt that we went on.
Nice.
And it's a lot of running.
Did you get a kill?
It's a lot of running. So.
Was it good? Did you get a kill?
No, we didn't actually get a kill, but
yeah.
But let me just say, my cameraman did a good job, but there's a lot of stop the camera, just so much running. It's going to be a little bit. Now, yesterday's video was easier because I only had like 3, 4, 5 different slots. This one has like 10 different clips that I got to put together. So it's going to be cool. It's going to be great. I want to say welcome, Nah. Nah, I got to say that you did a video with you dancing. That was awesome. I think everybody should dance. The way you danced in your video was freaking awesome. I loved it.
Dancing?
Theresa Lynch. Hi, everyone. So it's good to be back. And
yes,
it's good to be back.
It's been a long time, dude. It's been a long fucking time.
You look like Johnny Depp almost in Pirates of the Caribbean.
It's been a long time, man. I feel like I've grew my hair out since we've been on last. Bigfoot, the non over here, he's grown his hair out, looks like, since we've been gone. Everyone's been just relaxed, dude. We've been relaxed. Been relaxed a lot.
Oh, yeah. I've been through the subterranean caverns of Earth and back, and I'm going to the Florida Bigfoot Conference this weekend.
Yes.
I am psyched. I'm doing an interview after this interview. Man, things are moving on stationary plane that we live in missed on.
I saw a UFO. I saw 2 UFOs. So that's kind of fucking cool over Washington, over fucking England, and it's been pouring down rain, man. Like torrential rain over here. It's fucking crazy. Thunderstorms, and then Japan had a massive fucking slide. There's like 2 spontaneous mud volcanoes that exploded under the water. One in the Yucatan, or like one of the Mexico water, and the other one up towards Russia. It's like, what the fuck?
Right.
I love it.
Florida's getting hit by a hurricane right now. Elsa, and it's supercharged through the night. It's still very moderate, but it is crazy how the storm can gain power when, the predictions are very moderate. So definitely keep your eyes open and head on a swivel, everybody.
Yes, Thor is pounding his hammer.
Talking about...
You made that video about the world's biggest slave, right? You had the world's biggest slave?
Where's that?
Eric had a video he just put out the other day about the world's biggest slave, I think it was, wasn't it? The biggest black slave in that. So she owned slaves then. The lady owned that territory, Eric? She owned slaves?
I don't know. Actually, remember, that's New York. New York has always been the free states. That's more, you're talking about more down south.
Well, they're smart because what they do is they put up, like, it's called clickbait. They clickbait the slaves and they free themselves with Underground Railroad. But when they get up to upstate New York, they put them to work. Fucked up, man. It's like a trick. It's a trick. Like they take them up to Canada, then they put them to work on the railroads. Fucked up, man.
Yeah, from one trap to the next trap. It's pretty messed up.
Upstate was the worst because they trapped them up there. Man. Then they got to live.
The funny thing is about the East Coast, a lot of people say they don't like Seattle because it rains too much. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know what the hell they're talking about because the amount of rain that up there in New York is just crazy. I mean, we went to Hershey Park for a day, and at 12 o'clock, I'm talking about not just rain. I mean, it's fucking soaked rain for 2 hours straight. And then after 2 hours, it went well. But throughout the week, it rains throughout the week. But when it rains on the east, it freaking just pours down. At least in Seattle, when it rains, it's like light rain. It's not like the heavy downpour. So I always hate when people say it rains too much. No. It doesn't rain too much.
Been raining like crazy. The cool thing is that everybody in England right now is excited because they're going to end the whole COVID thing. It's coming up here on the 21st, and so everybody's out and celebrating. Well, protesting. London's completely in protest right now. Everybody over here is like fucking really protesting. Like there's people on the streets rocking the shit. But then Boris just came out and says, "Wait a minute now. We've just got a news flash from our government. We're going to extend it again."
Well, let me tell you this, Bob. As soon as I got to New York, Philadelphia, they opened it up, and it was so awesome because everything opened up. Hershey Park, and I'm talking about as soon as it opened up, there is no covered, no covered. And when I said in the beginning, Bob, when this whole thing started, I said once they open it up, it's going to get back to normal, and everything looked normal. Nobody talked about it. Everybody was having a good time talking to each other. Now, the only thing it's going to affect us in the long run is all the jobs that are gone now. You know, the after effect where like now you go to grocery stores, you go to Costco, there's so many things empty on the shelves that they're not replacing because they don't have it, you know?
Yeah.
There's a hole in our boat.
There's a hole in our boat. But beyond that, the people themselves that I saw was like it never happened. Hershey Park, like it never happened.
Yeah, but they don't throw away those masks, though. Tell them don't throw them away because we just got a massive wave. Oddly enough, it's weird. Anyway, the Delta virus is now taking over England, and it's on its way to the States now because we've opened up transportation. As soon as the Delta virus takes over the United States, you guys are going to go back, and we have to go back. We were supposed to get out of lockdown in a few days, and everybody's celebrating. But they just made the announcement by Boris that we're going back into lockdown until
And everybody can go back to sleep with the Delta waves, you know.
Don't throw away your mask.
You know what? I don't think, honestly, even if, say, something came here, I don't think they'll ever go back to that point, because we're at a point now, it's go time, basically. The economy has to keep going because the economy is too fragile. So, you know, it's going to be more like it's going to be more like getting the flu now. If you get the flu, you go to your doctor, they give you medicine, and you're back, because the economy has to go.
Yeah.
I mean, if you keep doing this, the economy is going to collapse. Yeah. And what I've always told everybody, if the economy collapses, who suffers the worst? People in office. Because
Sleepy Joe.
We're going to suffer. You know, the poor people are gonna go attack the rich. I mean, I just hate to say it. I mean, the truth is the truth.
But the Delta's making its way towards you guys right now, so I would get ready, because Delta's on its way. Delta is coming, guys.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. Alpha, Bravo, Delta. That's 3. Oh no, the number 3 is coming your guys' way.
Well, I got my coffee. That's all I need.
Yeah, everybody was excited. I said, do not get excited here. I told everyone, predictions, it's not going to happen. Do not get excited. Boom. Everyone's like, dude, you're right. I told you I'm right. It's like reading a fucking comic book. I'm flipping the pages. I guarantee you, in the next chapter, the fucking Delta stick is going to take over everything, and we're not going to open it up again. Boom. Delta. I win a toaster.
Well, it's nice, because as soon as we got back to Washington, everything in Washington's opened back up. The movie theaters are back at 100% capacity, which I kind of like. The 50%. I kind of like having that missing chair, but it is what it is, because I'm gonna this Friday I'm gonna go watch The Black Widow, so it'll probably be all filled. But oh well.
I usually have 2 girls on each side of me, so I'm unaffected by the rest of the parties in the theater. I just saw it last time too. It was awesome. It was the prequel too, which was an awesome take on it.
This person wrote huge. So I'll see if you remember here. Somebody wrote huge new Mandela effect in the original Shining movie. Let's hear what this says.
Yeah.
Remember at the end of the movie when you see Jack Nicholson show up in the black and white picture. Okay, I'm trying to picture it first. I remember they're showing a black and white picture. Currently says July 4th, 1921. Wasn't it a New Year Eve party?
Yeah. Yeah, 100% New Year's Eve party. Yeah. I'm not looking anything up. I'm going off my memory. And for those of you in the sidebar that have a different opinion, it's just a memory, and I could be wrong. That's the whole thing about this. But it was a New Year's Eve party. Yeah, it was like an usher in 19-something New Year's Eve party. That's what that's the impression I got from the picture. Yeah. Okay, that's the impression I got from looking at the picture. I assume 100% it's a New Year's Eve party. So that's the impression I got. I don't know about you guys.
That's what I got from my experience is New Year's. But on July 4th, I did see the picture that was circulating online about it being a July 4th party. So I see where the roots came from. But yes, deep in my soul, first time I ever seen it, and when I saw it in the Polk Theater, Haunted Theater, New Year's Eve party every time.
Yeah, I think I need to watch it again. Look at the picture and look at the party, because I remember there was a party in the dance hall, but I can't remember what kind of party it was. So it's
they both
hard.
have parties now, because people were dressed up in traditionally during New Year's. People would sometimes dress up as party animals, as weird things. They would wear the stupid things on their, people dressed up stupid, like Halloween. New Year's similar. Halloween full blown, everybody's dressed up. But New Year's, some people dress up. And then I think there's a scene. In fact, I got a poster of it where a dude's sitting on the bed and a guy is in like a bear outfit or like a stuffed, like a and he's kind of sitting at his knees. You kind of know what he's doing. Gross, but that's New Year's. And the guy's in a tux. So the reason why I think it's New Year's is because traditionally you wear a tuxedo on New Year's celebrations. That's why I think that. And on Halloween you dress a costume. New Year or 4th of July, you're wearing the flippy flops and some fucking shorty shorts, or you're wearing anything, Hawaiian shirts, silly stuff for summertime, New Year's tuxedos, other parties, certain clothing. So that's why I'm assuming everybody's in tuxedo.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, first of all, I see some people in the chat. I don't think, nobody should be calling anybody a liar. No offense. There's no need to do that. I see Joey's in the chat talking about like store memories. Now, over the vacation, the reason I call the show Vacation, some Mandela effects, because I watch a lot of shows and I'm seeing a lot of things, hearing a lot of things. And I got this cool email from somebody saying, I guess he called himself Just the Truth. And he wrote, Bob, this is what he wrote to me.
Yeah.
Just the Truth wrote to me, "Hey, Gypsy Road and Dr. Wu, I have been watching a lot of channels, a lot of different opinions of people talking about the Mandela effect. Cool. And I'm at a crossroad where I just don't know anymore who's talking real, who's talking the truth. But every time I watch your guys' show, I notice that both of you have some different opinions on some Mandela effects, which makes it sound more real because even both of you don't agree on everything."
Absolutely.
And I have a few that I'd like to shoot to you and to get your honest opinion, and then maybe get Bob's honest opinion. And I'm not trying to cause a chaos between you guys, but I just don't know what the truth is anymore. So can you explain to me about some of these newer Star Wars ones people are talking about? And this is going to be a real quick one. He wrote, what's your opinion on the C-3PO Silver Leg? First of all, real quick, a Silver Leg, and he wrote Silver Leg. Well, the thing is, he wrote 4 different things, and first of all, the Silver Leg is going to be up to the person. I'm not going to sit here and tell you if it's a effect for nobody, because I have always remembered the Silver Leg, Just the Truth. I always remember the Silver Leg, and each time HD came out, it got cleaner and cleaner and cleaner, where a lot of different angles. It looks like it's gold, but it's not to me. Like I said, Bob probably going to have a different opinion. There's no problem with that. Luke, I'm your father versus no, I'm your father. Just the Truth. No offense against myself. I have the memory of Luke, I'm your father. Now, it could be wrong. It could be a planted memory. I don't know. But that's the memory that I have. Now, you wrote here about R2-D2's dots. Now, Just Truth, Bob did a show. I have showed different clips from the same movie where R2-D2 parts are different in different scenes of the original movie. So, my opinion, there is no Mandela effect with R2-D2. They're just not. If you look at every single scene, R2-D2 does look differently because they use multiple robots throughout the movie. So, for me, there is no effects at all with R2-D2. Now, Bob, here's something I've heard new that I just think it's just ridiculous, in my opinion. Some people are saying in the movie Return of the Jedi, when you see the Death Star now, you know how it was, it's halfway built?
Yeah.
Some people are saying it doesn't look like it's halfway built anymore, and I'm gonna stop. This is just my opinion, but I'm gonna stop people from right there. There is no Mandela effects with the Death Star. I'm sorry if you guys think that. If people are saying that, they need to get off their drugs, get off the pills, and they're using it as a fake Mandela effect. And I'll tell you why, Bob. You and I have talked about this.
Yeah.
George Lucas have made changes.
Hundreds of them.
His movies while they're still at the theater.
Hundreds
of them. Has made changes to spaceships while the first week out. So it's possible what they're talking about is when they first saw it, the Death Star looked one way, but George has money. If he doesn't like the way it looks, he changes it. Yeah. And he has said he made 23 different changes nobody's going to know about. And when he makes changes to space, to ships, he will never bring back the original clip. He will not. When he made extended cuts, those are the new canon. Whatever he's done in the past, they're gone.
Yeah, so, he's made hundreds of them.
Bob might think differently, but Just the Truth, there's no changes in the Death Star. People are just remembering the cuts before George Lucas made changes. That's all that is. Now, the only one that I would say for me that I can't explain is "Look, I'm Your Father" because that's in my memory. I don't know why. I can't tell you. But Bob, what do you think of that?
I think we got Jedi mind tricked. These aren't the droids you're looking for. It's Luke, I am your father. Or it's no, I am your stepfather. I think it was stepfather now, right? No, I am your No, I am your stepfather. Like that. I don't know. George Lucas could change it tomorrow.
He can.
He can literally, you can go to the store. In fact, you can go to Bigfoot's fucking comic book store. I swear to God, guys, you can go to his store, and tomorrow this dude could be fucking loading up a whole new section of Star Wars revisions coming out of the machine.
He can't do that no more because it's owned by Disney.
Well, Disney might revise it again. We don't know.
Yeah, they revised it. I honestly think they have the technology. They could put out waves that could just change even our VHSs, our DVDs, Blu-rays. Remember back in the day when DirecTV had that chip that you could put in and you'd get a bunch of pay-per-view channels, but then through the night, the government or whoever, they'd zap it. So you'd have to take it out of your machine during the night or else it wouldn't work anymore.
Yeah.
Just think about stuff like that, man. They have the abilities. George Lucas, you guys saw the space scenes in Fast and Furious. That looked real, didn't it? Like, I think he was on the imaginary spaceship, filming that spot on, man. It's very impressive.
I don't touch Star Wars with a 10-foot fucking pole, man, because there's too many changes made to it.
You can't.
You can't argue anything on it.
Because we did whole shows on it where George Lucas made changes while it was still at the theater. He made changes.
It reminds me of this. Remember this commercial? Eric, you got to finish the sentence. You too, Bigfoot. Tastes great. You're going to say less filling. Tastes great.
Less filling.
Tastes great.
Less filling.
See, it's like the commercial, the old commercial. Tastes great. Less filling. Tastes great. Less filling. They're both right. You can't argue with them.
And then Bob, and he wrote, here's one that always blows me away.
Oh.
You guys need to tell me the truth on this. What is with everybody talking about changes on airplanes? And I want to bring that up about changes on airplanes. I want to bring that up. Not if you're watching a show and you want to learn about changes. Everybody, Darissa Lynch, I know you're in there. Everybody in there, Philosopher 3, you're all in there. We all want to learn about changes. But as soon as somebody talks about airplane changes, I turn off the channel. I turn it off. I walk away, and I'll tell you why. First of all, you need to learn who's doing the show in the first place. Okay, if I walk outside my house, let me explain this. If I walk outside my house, I see a bunch of cars, right? I'm sure, Bigfoot, you go outside, you go to work, you see all cars. Bob, I'm sure you see cars out in England, right?
Yeah, I do.
95%, 98% of people who are saying they're seeing changes in planes, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Because now saying changes on a Volkswagen is one thing, because you can see Volkswagen out in the streets. If you're not a pilot, if you're not working on a plane, if you're not a mechanic, you don't see planes enough to know that there's changes. I'm sorry. Yeah. What? You look at magazines? That's your change? You look up in the sky? That's your change? Now, the only person I will ever listen to about changes on a plane is Bob. Now people are saying, what? He's your brother? No. Because first of all, let's look at, like I said, you got to study your host. Let's look at Bob. He was in the Navy on a ship that carried jets, for one thing. That's jets.
No jets, helicopters.
Helicopters and jets. They worked on helicopters and jets. Second, Bob worked at a museum of flight for 10 years. Airplanes all around him. And this is another thing that used to drive me crazy, Bob. You and I had a guest on our channel one time, Viz. The Viz. Viz is a mechanic.
Yeah.
He's a mechanic on airplanes. Yeah. And when people were asking him about some changes, people in the chat were bashing him. I remember that. Say this. How can you bash somebody who worked on planes when you've never? I mean, what do you live so close to an airport? You walk around the airport writing down these changes on a plane. I'm sorry, it's you guys. Most of you guys cannot have a Mandela effect on planes because you don't look at a plane enough. It's like who you're getting your source from. What True 6 or 38? They don't know. They don't. I'm sorry, Bob. Am I crazy? I mean, airplanes are not something you're standing next to every day.
Yeah.
And start remembering changes.
Unless you are familiar with the plane and the crafts and all the new ones that are coming out and the ones being replaced and how they're being replaced, you really don't have much of an opinion. If you don't know what's inside of a wing, then you can't really. I mean, you could say, I give everybody has the right and freedom of speech. That's what I agree with 1,000. So give me your opinion. Now I'll put it on a plausibility list. This is plausible. This is not plausible to me, and only to me. I don't judge anybody else's stuff because from what I've seen, the craziest shit, I'm not going there anymore after having paranormal things happen all the time. Like all the paranormal activity is fucking daily for me. Am I insane? Most likely, this debunked. However, there's still a plausibility for me for it to be true. So I always keep my opinion to myself. Well, I express it, but it's to me and from only me. And I'm a non-biased or chaotic neutral, as I was in the Dungeons and Dragons games, chaotic neutral person. So when someone comes up to me and says, I've noticed that the engines that used to be under the wing are now projecting out from the front, I say, well, okay, that's plausible because that's how I see them without giving them that answer. Can you tell me a little bit more? Why are you saying this? Who told you this? Who gave you the memory, or do you have the memory? Now, I have to debunk it first because I know my memory, but I don't know where they got theirs. They got it from some guy talking about it so much that it's changed theirs. It's never been there before, and all of a sudden it's changed theirs. Now, I could have 1,000 variables why I remember it that way, and there's 1,000 variables, but their variables could be very much somebody told them that. And now they've projected the memory in their head. So I've always got to say, it's like Ghostbusters. When everybody made fun of Vickman. They laughed at him at the beginning when he walked. They were ready to pull their fucking little machines out and look for ghosts. But Vickman, as everyone's laughing at him, he says, okay, do you have any history of mental illness in your family, to the librarian lady? And people are laughing because it's a joke. No, that's serious. Well, I have an uncle that thinks he's Napoleon. I'll call that a yes. You know what I mean? You got
Bob, let me read this to you, Bob. Let me read this to you. Yeah. They flew over the house about every 60 seconds. Okay. Saw the underside, sometimes sides daily, still not solid on aircraft anatomy. That's my point. Even people who live close to an airport might see it, but it's not. And what you're saying, Bob, is absolutely true because I was on vacation. I look at Reddit. Some guy wrote to me, hey, I'm 33 years old, and I'm telling you, I remember Ed McMahon. And I wrote back nice. I said, listen, what you're remembering is what people are telling you what it is now. Yeah. It's like you weren't born when the commercials were out. So when you're looking this stuff up now, if you type in Ed McMahon, published character, whatever, it's everything is about how he used to work for them or the effects. So that's what you're remembering now. You're not remembering the truth because you can't, because you weren't born during that time. I'm not here saying nobody has the effects. Everybody has different effects. Yeah. But after I said that, he was quiet. He was quiet. Like you're saying, Bob, like you're saying, you're not questioning people's memories, but you got to ask, where did you get this memory? How did you get it? Yeah. And you got to debunk it. Now, it's easy to manipulate the world on the news, YouTube, Instagram, anywhere. I'm going to give you an example, Bob. I want you to hear this. I want you to hear if you think my example is crazy. Like I did a video yesterday about integration of a first college in 1849, where the first mix, right? Now, I guarantee you most everybody who's watching us, nobody knows that. I didn't really know it until I was in town, right? So because nobody really knows that history that existed, I could come here and say, hey guys, there's a Mandela effect change. This story came out of nowhere where this town, they have the first integration, not New York City. Kind of like what people did with Black Tom. Black Tom was a piece of history that was always there. It was called something different. But because 95, 98% of the people don't know the story, people come in with these histories that are just not known and try to make it something that it's not.
Well, the New Jersey terminal was called.
It was called the New Jersey terminal.
It was a man-made island with the storage facility for boats.
And people come out and say, that's my number one, Black Tom. No, it's not. You just never heard the story before because one guy wrote to me, I don't remember learning that in school. Do you remember 80% of what you learned in school?
Well, I think that pretty much everything is a lie. I question, as an anthropologist who went to university, I'm going to tell you right now, I have questioned everything now, all the history, all of the history to present. Doing archaeology, studying Exodus from Egypt, that is questionable now. The times are not right. There's things that are not. There's a lot of things in question, even within the biblical sense, within everything I've been told is a lie. Everything I've been taught by the status quo is now, to me, in question. So any event that someone comes up to me now and says, here's the event that happened that I don't remember, I said, that's fucking fantastic. Let me do some research. As I go through the pictures, first flag hits me with pictures. These are CGI pictures that I'm looking at on the internet. These are not real pictures. First flag. Second flag, the literature is incorrect. They don't talk this way in this period of time. In this period of time, when you read context of stuff, the paragraph has an IM pentameter that's from the 1930s or 1920s, or the groovy cat, the cool, the words that they use, the English language that they use for the time is not there. It's modern day English. I go, that's flagged, because back then, when you were gay, that meant you were happy. They use the word gay a lot as happy.
Gay is a good word.
But if they don't use the word gay, it's because they're from this place rewriting the history, and they don't want to use that word because it means something else presently. Do you guys know what I'm saying when it comes down to literature? That word should be there in that time period. It should be used at least once or twice.
That's an excellent point. Because look, this guy wrote history is written by victors. That's an excellent point.
Yeah,
because what you're saying is like we're all in school. When you and I were in school, we were taught that Christopher Columbus was the greatest explorer in the world. He discovered America. He was just the number one. We had a holiday. We had it off, right? And this was in the 80s. This is centuries ago.
Yeah.
In the 80s. And then somewhere out of nowhere, the truth came out that the guy was doing it for money. He was criminal. He brought diseases. He killed people. They killed Indians. He wasn't the great man that everybody said he was. And it's like, well, who wrote this story? Then who changed the story? Yeah. So it's like you're saying, Bob, we don't even know what's true that's even written by people anymore.
You got to think linguistically. So when I'm reading a paragraph of a certain in the 1800s, now I've read, because of archaeology, I've read literature in my place where I'm from, Sagittarius, within the 1800s, and there is a lot of derogatory racism. But it's fluent. It's not something they're putting out in your face. It's something they commonly use. They were commonly racist. So it's not like they're saying angry things. No, they're just commonly racist. So they write fluent in a beautiful manner, but it's racist in the same. From our standards today, this is completely racist. But from them, it was not. It was common. So when I'm reading literature from that period of time, so someone said the research an event, okay, this is from the 1800s. Let me read the literature from the 1800s. They're saying it's soft racism. Words are not used. They were not used during that time period. It was much more soft. I go, no. This is not. These are not the old white curmudgeons that originally wrote this literature. This is fake. This linguist information is fake. This has just been put out there because of the type of language, the IM pentameter, the smoothness of how it's written is not the same. It's not. It's a remix. It's like you liking the song "Everybody Wants to Rule the World" from you know that band Everybody, you know, Tears for Fears, and you're rocking the song. All of a sudden, somebody, Bigfoot Anon, does a remix. So he does a remix of the song, puts the song back out. Now you're listening to the song, going, "What the fuck's that weird ass back noise? That an extra sound I've never heard of." Was because he just put it out as a remix. He redid it. So
hold on. Now, actually, this True Thoughts wrote something about music here too, and I have a comment what you're saying. Now, you're saying about a remix. Now, first of all, let's
songs.
But let's take the remix part out. Okay, when you think of a band, they go in a studio, they record 10 songs, right? You think they record 10 songs, and they're over? No, it's not. They record 10 songs, but different countries, every song is copyrighted. I want everybody to hear that. A song is copyrighted. When you make an album in the United States of America, it's copyrighted. Now, to be the biggest star in the world, you gotta make music. You want to make music for every country. Now, it's copyrighted here, but let's just say Belgium. Say you want to launch an album in Belgium, they have to look at your lyrics and say and approve the lyrics so they can be copyrighted so you can play in another country. Now, some other countries, this happens to all musicians all around the world. They'll come out and say, you could do this song, but you cannot say this line. This line is already copyrighted by this group. So there's a lot of songs that these bands make changes to words because it's the only way that song could be played in another country.
Yeah,
because of copyright laws. Every country has different rules of copyright laws. Yeah. So it's almost like if you want to sing a song in Spanish, you have it in English, you have a Spanish version. But they also have to make changes to certain songs. Now, what's going on lately is we live in a world where everything is on the internet. Everything. So even though a song might not be allowed by YouTube to be played because it's coming from, I don't know, India, you have certain machines that somehow will say that you're not in America and you're able to hear this song with a different lyric. That's why songs are the hardest ones to ever say there's a real change. Because that one song you're saying there's a change might have 3 different versions of it. And they did that so it'll be allowed to be played in other countries. I mean, it's just a fact. It's not.
Well, I use Tears for Fears as an example to a lot of people that I try to explain things to. Again, I do have a memory discrepancy. Everyone who knows me knows that, so I'm not fighting anybody. I'm telling you, as Dr. Vinkman would do, use science first, and then what's left over, you might have an argument there. That's what I do first. Like again, Eric, do me a favor. You don't have to listen to the song. Type in Tears for Fears. Everybody Wants to Rule the World. I'm going to use an example. Since we're just doing a narrative today, which is kind of fun. So do Everybody Wants to Rule the World by and I'm going to give you guys a funny example that was brought to my attention. Even I fell for it. I had to debunk it. For it to be true, I have to debunk first and then see what's left over. So bring up if you can find it, bring this up. This is a good example.
Okay, hold on. Let me.
Bigfoot Anon. How do you remember that song? Everybody Wants to Rule the World. How does the lyrics go?
I just think just like how you said it, everybody wants to rule the world. I don't know. I have to listen to it.
There's the lyrics.
Yeah. So does it say everybody wants to rule the world?
Well, here, let me make it bigger.
Yeah.
Let me make words bigger for everybody.
Everybody wants to rule the world.
Okay. So that was what everybody remembers from the 80s. I'm an 80s guy. That's how I remember it. That's how it's always been. That's the way it goes. It's right there, evident fact. Now, Eric, go to YouTube itself and type in Everybody Wants to Run the World by the name of the band. Yeah, Everybody Wants to Run the World. Let's see what you come up with. Tears for Fears. Or Tears for Fears, Everybody Wants to Run the World. Let's see what comes up.
A bunch of titles calling it. The first 2 titles, Everybody Wants to Run the World. Tears for Fears, everybody wants to run the world.
See?
And then Tears for Fears, everybody wants to rule the world. By Tears for Fears again. Same band. Yeah. Same band.
You see what I'm talking about? Now, some people will be screaming this is a Mandela effect. They're screaming, going to make a video about it. I've had people who contacted me about this one. They know that I see mistakes or I see continuity errors or whatever. So I did some research and I immediately put it in and I got the basics. I put in everybody wants to run the world. I didn't go into some detail. Boom, it pops right up to the top. And so I go, okay, that's weird. So I played the song. And in the song, it says, everybody wants to run the world. I said, whoa. It says it clear as fucking day. Oh, my God, my ear hole just said, yeah, it says run the world. Then I went and looked at the one that says everybody wants to rule the world. I played it. Everybody wants to rule the world. What is going on here? Both songs are now they're available. So some people are having a difficulty. They ask me, I said, well, I need to do some more research. Found out that in this place, whatever reason, that this song was used in a running marathon. It was used in a marathon, like a running. It was made specifically. It was modified, remixed.
It was modified for the event.
Specifically for an event. So that song was modified for an event. And so when you listen to it, I go, oh, they did change it on purpose for an event. I go, fucking A. Both of them are there. So when I get other songs that have changed, I'm like, okay, so there's the new word. I've never heard that word before. I agree with the Mandela effect community. Let's research it. Then to find out that the song was remixed for Joe Schmo's barbecue large festival with blah, 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 blah. For copyright reasons, he changed a word. I said, ow. So it's telling me that they are physically in this place remaking songs and switching words around on purpose. So I'm investigating a little bit deeper into why did it change. I don't care about the change. I don't fucking care about the effect. Fucking care. I'm doing the research behind it. And it's debunked. I'm like, God damn it, I debunked it. Fuck. Whoa. I really thought this was one of them, but it's not. Bummer. If not a bummer. I'm happy both ways. I'm happy when I debunk, and I'm happy when I can't debunk, no matter how many times I try. And there's a lot of things I can't debunk.
You got to the bottom of it, man. That's all that matters.
So people that are a little bit easily manipulated will know, hey, guys, no, there is a song everybody wants to run the world. Because they're like, it's something physical. There's a code involved in this. It means that everybody wants to, it's the Illuminati.
And then Beyonce dropped a song about it and been remade and retold so many times. And, song making, these artists are just the people on the front lines. There's a whole team of writers that wrote the song, that promote the song. And then the artists, their voice gets used in the studio, but they just lay down the lyrics that are already written for them. But the engineers then have the power to put out the song. So they're going to lay about like 40 different versions of the song, and then they go home, and then months later this gets picked apart and edited, and their new message gets portrayed and put out. So you got to look deeper into the song making process, and then think about movies. You got a 3-hour project instead of a 2-minute project. 100%. But you already know my beliefs. All this has been rewritten and retold. Like, we're celebrating presidents when America had kings and queens. They used to be buried with gold and copper and rubies and gems, and there's mounds and caverns and pyramids in America that align with the sun and the moon. Like, guys, we are living in a comic book. The whole Mandela effect is if you guys are buying this reality, because this is all an illusion. I got a list at the end of a bunch of recent Mandelas that I've been diving into, and I can't wait to share them with some people.
Yeah, I can't wait. Yeah, we get to play with them. Everybody, we get to play with them. Those of you, the sidebar that are the debunker sides, the scientist sides, awesome. You guys get to play with it. We're not offended. Bigfoot, he's not offended. Eric's not. We're not offended when you guys try to find another explanation, because that's what we do. If we can't find the explanation, and then it becomes something paranormal, a phenomenon we can't explain, then we leave it there with that. But the idea is to constantly try to find a reason why. Why? If you can't debunk it, then why is it changed? Who changed it? Like he says, when you lay down a track, you have 40 to 50 different versions of the song, and they decide on the one they want. They've got multiple different versions that they can just release at any time. The Beatles were famous for having fucking tracks laid down. The 50 versions of the one song. And then whoever the new copyright owner goes, hey, let's put out the other version of the song.
Well, and remember, sometimes I remember I did this research, when you watch a movie, Bob, we watch a movie Weird Science, right?
Yeah.
For example, we watch Weird Science, and there's a scene at the end where they're in the gym.
Yeah.
And they saw that hot girl, and they played the song Weird Science. Now, later on cable TV, that same scene, instead of Weird Science, they were playing the Rocky theme.
Yeah.
And I remember saying, that was Weird Science. And then I studied and found out that sometimes back in the day, when a movie goes on a cable or TV, they change some things from a different version to the new version in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
So sometimes some changes are made. Like, here's a good example. In Halloween 2, John Carpenter, in the original theater cut, there was not a scene when they learned that Michael Myers and Jamie Lee Curtis was his sister.
Yeah.
When they put it on VHS and on TV, they added that scene in.
Oh.
So sometimes they make certain changes for TV because back in the day, if a movie's 2 hours or 5 minutes and they need to make it fit under 2 hours on TV, they will cut scenes out and add a certain scene to make the movie cut for a TV version. And sometimes when people think there's a change, it's not really a change. They had to make a change for a TV version or a cable version. It happens all the time.
Depending on what country you're at, because what country you're at, they can't have certain scenes, so they cut them.
Yes.
They modified it for each country. Donnie Darko was a director.
They did that for 16 Candles too. Yeah.
Yeah, they have these different scenes that they cut in for what country. And like I said, Donnie Darko has the director's cut. If they don't put down the word director's cut, they don't always put. You're like, what happened? The songs aren't wrong.
Well, shit. Go to fucking Blade Runner. How many different cuts? How many different cuts of Blade Runner there is now?
And you guys saw Army of Dead. You know how they put in that female pilot, she was all CGI put in for Chris D'Elia, so she was a late add-in. So that shows the power of what they could do. I suggest everybody goes and watches the movie The Congress. They get the DNA of these actors. They don't even need the actors anymore. They could just portray them in any situation they want, man.
Any show now. I think Robert De Niro has a new movie out with him, and he looks like he's in his 30s. I go, what the fuck? They've got these actors now that, and Indiana Jones is being filmed now, part 5, which is awesome. I can't wait. They're supposedly doing magic with him, CGI magic with his face, making him look young. I go, how they doing? How the hell can they take this old man and make him look like his old self? They could have. He gave him an add-in. This is what the buzz is. The guys, don't quote me, but this is the buzz in England because it's being filmed here in England. Is that there's several stand-ins for him because of his age, and they're CGIing his face young. I go, no fucking way.
Here's a good one. Philosophy 3 wrote, they do that with TV series too. I was reminiscing some years ago watching Beverly Hills 90220 online, and so many good songs that fit the mood were changed due to royalty.
Sucks, right?
That happened too. Yeah. So, and guys, we're not debunking nothing, but you just gotta. We want the community to be real, and I'm tired of a lot of people making up stuff just to get clicks and views.
They're making up so much shit. They're
not like you said about people are not debunking. Oh, I'm gonna tell you this great story about debunking.
Yeah,
this is a great story, guys. I'm serious. Okay, my 16-year-old son, Bob, you know Oliver.
Yeah.
He's a hard-headed kid.
Yeah, he is.
Okay? Now, the great-grandma who has that graveyard on her property, she was telling me stories where she hears voices at night. People hear voices, ghost stories. Here's my son, my 16-year-old son. Do you ever, when you hear these voices, do you notice that your water's running? All right, he's questioning her on everything, and he goes, "Now, by a chance, do you have an oil run heat system?" She goes, "Yeah." Well, oil run heat systems actually carry voices around like a recorder. I mean, it was now. I was like, Oliver, she's 96 years old. Just let her talk. Let her leave it. No, Dad. We got it. We gotta try to debunk it with science because there's too many things in the house that can actually carry voices where you think there's a ghost, but it's not. It's just, do you have oil? Do you have water? And if I'm gonna go on a ghost hunt, I'm taking him along with them because my son won't take no for an answer. He's going to debunk it all the way to the point where he was doing this with a 96-year-old woman, his grandma. he was. I mean, when he was talking to her, Bob, you guys had to be there to see it. He was serious when he was talking to her.
Yeah, real good because she could have a fucking heart attack one night if someone's sitting around watching a scary movie and if Bigfoot and I we're discussing a slasher movie. And we're in another room talking about take the old woman. You see the old woman's head get taken clean off. We're talking something bad, but it's out of context. It's completely out of context, and that rides along the pipe, and she's picking it up like two cans with a fucking string, and she's hearing he and I. Now, when your voice is carried away from its source, it's going to change. Depends on the thickness of whatever the content, whatever the material is that's carrying your voice. It's going to change. You're not going to sound the same. So now you've got these two sounds. I'm going to take your head off. Did you see the old woman's head getting taken clean off? And she's going to freak the fuck out and have a heart attack. So it's good to know.
But I had to Oliver, just let her. No, Oliver, nope. My son believes that everything can be cured with science, or everything can be solved with science. I want to ask somebody this. I saw this earlier in the chat. I apologize if I didn't catch all this. I saw people in the chat were talking about an ME with Fangoria. I don't know exactly what they were saying, but first of all, so let's talk about this Fangoria that I see in the chat earlier. So the magazine. Check it out. Philosopher 3, I know you guys were talking about Fangoria. Can you put back in the chat what are we talking about Fangoria? What are we seeing with the change? Now, first of all, I'm going to ask you. I'm going to pull up Fangoria here in a second. With you, Bob, maybe they're talking about the spelling. I don't know. How would you spell Fangoria? Here we go. Hold on.
Okay.
Gypsy Road. Did you see the trailer? Oh, there's a new Friday 13th movie? No, I
haven't. No way.
I'll have to check that out. But Bob, Fangoria, how would you spell Fangoria?
I can't spell for shit. I'm probably 90%
Here we go.
of the
Your spelling of Fangoria. Okay, so the spelling of Fangoria. That's good. I wanna check this out.
I think that looks fine to me.
Na says spelling yes. Okay, so first of all, Bob, how in your mind? I'll pull up Fangoria website.
Yeah.
If you had to spell it, let's just have fun with this. How would you spell Fangoria?
The way he spelt it, I'm gonna say feels comfortable. You know what I'm saying? I can't spell for shit. I admit it, guys. That's the thing. I'll admit I'm a bad speller. Fangoria magazine. That looks correct to me.
I probably agree with you. Like if I think of spelling the word Fangoria, if I'm spelling it out. Now I love Fangoria magazine. I grew up on Fangoria magazine. I grew up on Fangoria magazine and Mad TV magazines.
Yeah.
I love those two magazines. Back in our day, remember, we didn't have internet. So our social media was through magazines.
Yeah.
So Fangoria, Fagora.
Fangoria magazine.
So let me share the Fangoria website and see how they spell it.
Let's see. Drum roll, please.
Error. Okay, here we go. Oh, let me get that off. Okay, here we go. They spell it Fangoria.
Oh, it's the way you pronounce it.
Fangoria.
That's how you pronounce it. You pronounce it that way. Yeah, there was no I for me. I don't remember. I always say Fangora.
We missed the I. Yeah, and that's the problem with words. That's why I do like listening to people about music and all that, because when people talk about music, I like to see does the new lyrics. It does, sometimes I'll think that does sound crazy.
No, I got that. I got
when
the lingo.
Look at this. Like you, Bob, you said it perfectly. Without the I, it feels more comfortable.
Yeah,
I agree with that statement. It feels more comfortable. The I making it an extra long, and it can't throw it off.
That's why I say that's why I tell you, if I can't spell a word, I'll tell you how I feel, how it makes me feel, and how I say it, because it makes me feel. Because Fangora makes me feel better. I know it sounds stupid, but I know what Robert's talking about, because they'll missay a word or mispronounce a word because it feels better to say it that way.
I gotta give Philosopher 3 a clap, because I used to buy Metal Edge magazine too. That was, hey guys, we lived in Kermit, California, outside of Fresno. We didn't have great radio stations. So if you wanted to know a good band or hear something, you had to buy a magazine.
Yeah.
Trying to find new names, because living in Kermit, in California, it wasn't like, here's a new band, here's a new punk rock band. All you had from radio was pop rock top 40. So if there was a cool ass band like this, here's a band. Bob, you and I like Suicide Tendencies.
Yeah, I love Suicide Tendencies.
But you're never going to hear Suicide Tendencies on a radio back in our day.
I see your mommy and your mommy's dead. I see your mommy in a pool of red. I thought it was the coolest thing that I ever did see. Your dead mommy laying next to me. You're not going to hear that on the radio. You got to buy that tape.
Yeah, it's not like now you could go to somebody's channel. Hey, listen to this new band. Shit, we had to get that from a magazine.
Yeah, but see, Fangoria. One of my ongoing hypotheses, which means it's debunkable, which means you guys can take it and tear it the fuck up, which is why we do this. I have a running theory that anything masculine has changed to feminine, anything feminine has changed to masculine, and I use Tom Cruise as an excuse. He was in a white shirt with sunglasses, which made a male cool, like a dude cool, and now he's feminine. So when I look at Fangora magazine, that was obviously feminine because of the A, and now it's IA, which makes it masculine. However, a feminine ending, it's still considered masculine because of the I. You see, it went from feminine to male. And anything male went from male to feminine. Again, see, everything went and flipped upside down. So I'm just running a hypothesis, which means you guys can destroy it. I fucking have this fun time doing it. But I have noticed that anything masculine is now feminine, anything feminine is now masculine. It's switched. Yeah. So I use Tom Cruise as the example. If you have that memory of the white shirt, now he's in a pink shirt. He's feminine. Get it? Anything badass is become feminine. Now I see John Wayne wearing scarves, like in movies that I know John Wayne movies. I'm a big fan. He's wearing feminine scarves around his neck. I know it's laughable unless you guys are fans of John Wayne Westerns, and you go look at his Western garb, and you're going to find feminine attributes to his garb now, which, again, the patterns of his scarves are a bit feminine now. Again, only me. I'm just saying things. It's up to you to decide that. What link is that?
I typed in because somebody said there's a new Friday 13th trailer, right? And here's one that says Friday 13th official trailer 2021 by it says Sony down here, but it's fan made because it says September 24, 2020. I'm trying to see
tons of them. Maybe start the trailer. The Halloween one, because the Halloween movie trailer just came out, so maybe he just had it mixed up with the franchises.
Yeah, because I don't see a new trailer. I did see the new Halloween Killer trailer. That's a pretty good trailer.
100%. Yeah. I feel bad for the fireman. My dad's a fireman. He was just trying to help and put out the fire, and he went off on him and slayed them all. Not fair. Not cool.
I want to say welcome, maybe Miss Mandela. Welcome, Miss Headbangers Ball, dude. Chocolate and cheese.
Headbangers Ball, yeah.
Dude, chocolate and cheese. There was 2 MTV shows that you can only watch past midnight.
Yeah,
Headbangers Ball and alternative music. What was it called? What's that called, Bob? There was a name for
20 minutes was like is it 20 minutes or
120 minutes?
120 minutes.
And
I used to wait for that.
And they played like once a week, and it's the only time that you could see metal bands and alternative music.
Oh yeah, the Cure. I never knew about the Cure.
Yeah, because
the Smiths, Love and Rockets.
People
don't
understand that nowadays you can listen to the Cure, Depeche Mode easily, but back in the day, you could only watch those bands on 120 minutes.
Yeah, I love all those old songs. There's something going on. Again, the guys destroy this, take it apart, debunk it. It's just me. In fact, I've discussed it with other people in England. They're like, I ain't going for that one. We'll call it low plasma. So, okay, I'll take that. There's something to do with the 80s. Again, I talk about something about the nostalgia of the 80s and some of the 90s. A little bit into the late 70s, a little bit into the early 90s, but mostly the 80s that a lot of the changes that people see, the discrepancy errors are coming out of the 80s songs and 80s themes. A lot of 80s things right now feel good. Yeah. Like music is, for people. I do
want to say thank you, Nah. He did say it is a fan trailer. Sorry about that. But hey, you made a mistake. That's what? I love that. And because he came out and said he made a mistake, I'm going to show you guys the best dancing moves I have seen. Bob, I want you to watch his dancing moves. It is awesome. It's one of the best I've seen. Here we go.
Let's see.
Hold on.
Oh, you know what he's doing.
It's coming. Don't worry. It's coming.
I'm already liking it. He's a damn good looking man.
Hold on. Here we go. Watch these dance moves, baby.
Oh, shit, dude. That is pure power.
It's coming.
It's borderline sorcery.
Kind of looks like you. Here we go.
Nice.
It's the power of the flower, man.
He's rolling the duster. Thank God for marijuana.
If anybody does want to see a fan-made Halloween movie, I think it's called Halloween or Happy Halloween. It's on YouTube. It won a bunch of awards. Go check it out. Shark to Con now. You should be in You Got Served Part 3.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, there's a lot of fan-made inspired for movies that they want to see, which is really cool. I enjoy watching.
What is this? Flower or bud?
But I think more like bud flower, which is technically flower. Bud,
What I liked about that little dancing is I liked his music choice, because there's good music everywhere. Doesn't matter if it's country, rock, whatever. There's good music everywhere, and I love his choice of a song.
Yeah, there's something, again, about pulling back that old nostalgia music that's got relevance. Some people are hearing messages. I have heard from the 2016, been screaming it before anybody else did. I don't really care. But there's some messages in the music. It's from back then. It's like, if an alien return, I'm going to say hypothetical. An alien returns, okay? This is obviously not it. Returns, and it came here in the 80s. Somehow it's influencing people's music because there was a lot of one-hit wonders, but those one hits were really good.
Yes.
unusually good. Like this is a good song.
Like my Sharona. My Sharona was a great one-hit wonder song.
It makes sense to me that they would come out with something so good, and then all of a sudden it'd be so bad. Then after the 90s, it got depressing, and now it's so bad. Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci. Like, oh my God, the fuck is that?
You know what? you know, Bob, you're not kidding. When you analyze music,
yeah,
and it seems like in the 80s, in the mid 90s, 90s and 80s, the musical part was good, but it was the lyrics, the fun lyrics you could sing along to. You could have a beer, you could sing along to. It was easy. It was fun, fast, easy. And it seems like about 1997 and above, once the punk rock and ska music, became popular along with rock and roll in the early 90s, music became more complicated, and they're forgetting the lyrics. The fun part of the catchy lines were gone. It was like it became too heavy. It became depressing. It's like if you want to hear that music nowadays, I hate to say it, you got to go to country. Country still does that. My dog just died. The lyrics. Music nowadays don't have the fun lyrics to sing along to anymore.
Yeah, and I hate to sound like the old fogey because it's just true. Every generation, you always have the old man. Well, my music back in my time was much better, But when I was in the 80s, I listened to 80s music, and I also listened to music from the 30s, the 20s,
but the 30s. 40s and 50s, you can sing along to the Beach Boys, the Beatles. You can sing along to all of them. Creedence Clearwater Revival. You can sing along to them. The early Kiss, the early Aerosmith. You could sing along to them. It seems like nowadays you can't sing along to them because I don't know what the fuck they're saying because it's drowned out by the music.
Yeah, I don't know. Also, over the weekend, this is just me again. Guys, this is completely insane, so do not quote me on this. You can do it for yourself. I highly recommend Bigfoot Anon do it because he might be able to see it. Other people might not. I'm not putting any. I think he'll be able to see it. I was watching the Beastie Boys. Okay, simple as that. And I was watching the three guys do their dance, and they're doing their dance, and they're doing their. And this is weird. I know this sounds weird. I picked up the Torah. These guys are Jewish. They're Jewish guys. They're just Jewish. No big deal about it. I opened it up, and you got to read it from right to left. And I'm looking. They have only certain words on there that like AIOU is not included in their language, the Hebrew language. So I'm looking at it, and I actually was stopping it and watching them do these dance, and they would stop. Like one of them would have his arm like this and his hand out like that. And I looked down at the book and I said, "That's a word. That's a word." Now, are they doing it intentionally, or is the Matrix changed the video to make them look like they're doing the words, like they're doing an alphabet from the Torah? Now, again, this just debunked this. AI was high. Of course, that's maybe why I could see it. B, I had a couple of drinks. I've been rumored to have a drink or two. So in this state of mind, which debunks it, I'm watching it and I go, I stopped the video and this is a word. At one point they had Yahweh. I backed up the sing song and I watched it do it in slow and I'm looking at the words. Okay, Yahweh. They're dancing the symbols. I don't think they know they were doing it. In fact, I think it was somehow the Matrix changed that. They don't know they were doing it. But I'm watching other songs of other dancers doing this weird glitchy, like the computer was glitching them in a way where it's doing words. Well, if I were an alien wanting to communicate and we didn't have an alphabet, or I would have singers or dancers do the symbols to have conversation with the people. Or the songs will change to have a conversation with the people for a mentality thing, a complex thought.
I will say,
at you guys.
No. What you're just saying, if I had to choose a band, what you're just saying, I will say Beastie Boys is a fantastic choice because
as an experiment.
One of the less selling albums that they had was their second album called Paul's Boutique.
Yeah.
Paul's Boutique was an album, was ahead of its time. If you go, I know it's hard for people to go back and listen to albums now, but License to Ill and Paul's Boutique were two total different albums. Paul's Boutique became an album, was a little bit more of the future. They're playing with more keyboards, different sound that people were not ready for yet.
Yeah.
People, and
I know.
Why weren't people ready for it? Where did this new sound come from? Like you're saying, Bob, maybe it's hard to say. Maybe a Matrix, maybe something inspired them to go even further into it. Because Check Your Head album, where what you want.
Yeah.
It's an historic album but that was a pre-album of Paul's Boutique.
Yeah.
Paul's Boutique had those future sounds, but album did shit in sales. But what made them start going into that future?
These three guys, and this is only a comic book idea, guys, so this is not true.
No, Bob.
If I were an alien or some sort of entity and I wanted to communicate, I would pick specific people to do that. They've always been destined to do it. These three guys were putting out music that's just so engulfingly good. That's not even a word. It was so good. You're engorged into it. You're like, the songs are so good. Even if you hate them, you can't stop. But the beat is going through.
Ask yourself this, Bob. Ask yourself this.
Yeah.
Now, when they did License to Ill, they just rapped.
Yeah.
Okay. By the time they got to Check Your Head, they wanted to play their own instruments. They wanted to play the instruments. Now, these guys said it. They never played really instruments before. All of a sudden, from License to Ill, when they did Check Your Head, watch a video from the third album. They're playing the guitar. They're playing bass. And they're playing good. Now, you don't become magical with instruments overnight.
Well, the Prophet Muhammad.
Something helped them. Yeah. It's kind of like, Bob, who is that guitar player? The famous guitar player from Crossroads. I did a video on. Robert Johnson.
Oh, not Muddy Waters.
Robert Johnson.
Yeah.
Okay. The story goes that Robert Johnson was an okay guitar player. Then he sold his soul to the devil on the Crossroads. Yeah. And he came a year later, and he became magical. That's the legend story. Yeah. You could say that same thing has happened to the Beastie Boys, where they didn't know how to play instruments, and now suddenly they were playing instruments on the third album. How did they get that good? Where did that come from?
Prophet Muhammad.
Did they sell their soul to the Crossroads?
Yeah, I don't think this. I don't know. I think it was given to, like I said, the Prophet Muhammad could not read or write. He was illiterate. He went and wrote an entire religion. The Prophet Muhammad is huge. I mean, he's a Muslim. No, fuck that. It is what it is. He couldn't read or write, and that's within their context of their literature. He could not read or write. All of a sudden, he left the cave, and he's able to do all of these wonderful things, read and write, and beyond reading and writing. The Beastie Boys, am I calling them? Like, no, but prophets come in weird fucking shapes and forms, man. So these three guys all of a sudden come out of nowhere, and they're rocking the tunes. If you don't like them or not, even if you're not a rap, I don't hate rap, but for some reason, I put on the beat. Even our dad, if I put on the Beastie Boys, our dad's he lives in the old country. I played a couple, my dad's like, he's in the kitchen, he's kind of rocking his head. He got grooved. It was like something about the music. It was like, what is this? It goes through you. A lot of bands were becoming like that from the 80s. It was like they were going through you. Like, wow, what is this music? Something is influencing people to make these songs that are amazing. No matter what your genre of music, even reggae was coming up from the 80s, the reggae was just amazing. Every genre, jazz, amazing. You know, everything. Well, actually, jazz really was amazing back in the days of the 40s and 30s and 50s coming up. But really, a lot of music was weird, man. It was like that's why I want Bigfoot and On to get high one day, play Beastie Boys, pull out a Torah, dude, and see if you can find any of the dance moves and match it to a sentence.
I will.
Here, this is what it says here, Bob.
Because 100% they do spell out secret messages and gain this knowledge for trading. for other things. So yeah, you have to read between the lines, and the Beastie Boys shaped generations, and you said it, the music goes right through you. It's more than just music. It's waves, it's transcendence, man.
Well, look right here. Played on instruments. In 1992, the Beastie Boys decided to return to the studio to record Check Your Head. This time, in addition to their rap vocals, each member of the band played his own instrument instead of relying on technological wizardry and sampling to provide the music.
Yeah.
Unless they faked it and had other musicians played in the studio and they just said they did it kind of like the what's those two African Americans who pretend to
Millie Vanilli or
Millie Vanilli. Unless they did that,
Millie
they got pretty good at it.
Millie Vanilli. But look at U2, the band U2. Yeah, they're pieces of shit now. But in the 80s, U2, Bono, and all those musicians, they couldn't play instruments, remember? They couldn't play instruments.
The Edge did not know how to play guitar. And when he learned to play guitar, people don't know this. He was trying to play American country. And the American country became this new music. But if you actually listen to the earlier stuff, it is mostly acoustic and stuff.
Yeah.
Because they were trying to play American music, American country music. That's why Bono, like myself, wore a cowboy hat, because they were trying to be country singers from their country.
Yeah, but there was something in the air. There was something within the atmosphere that was like everybody was tapping into. I mean, you could be a nobody in a garage, and all of a sudden you just tapped into that wave, and you were producing really good music, like by yourself, like with a keyboard, with whatever instruments were coming out at the time. You could just outperform, insanely. And all of a sudden, it's like there was artists popping up on every fucking corner that was magically performing well. They didn't know how to play before, and they were becoming big hits. And then it died out fast. Like there was so many one-hit wonders, they couldn't keep up with these fucking bands. It was like, but then it's like they exhausted whatever magic they had, and then it just died out for them. Like they just, like Pearl Jam. Boom, they were magical, and then all of a sudden it was whatever it was jumped out of them, and then they became whatever they are now. And just a lot of bands were like that. I think maybe now, if some of these people, I don't care what camp you come from, pick up an instrument, you might be able to start playing or writing books.
I'll tell you a good one. Who's going into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this year in 2021. Ooh. The Go-Go's. When the Go-Go's got together, they decided to do a punk band, and none of them knew how to play instruments. They've all learned to play instruments, and a few years later, they came out with their first 4 albums and made this music, and now they're going to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and none of them, except the drum, they got a drummer who knew how to play. She wasn't the original drummer. They fired the one drummer, but most of them did not know how to play instruments.
It's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing.
And now they're going to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The Ramones got together. They did not know how to play instruments, but they wanted to do punk rock. And the reason they did 3 chords, it's all they could learn.
Yeah.
So now they went into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
But it became a weird thing because I'm just going to throw another conspiracy in it, which is entirely not true. A lot of these big, all of a sudden, over the top musicians that were really, really good, that really pushed it out, all of a sudden got cancer. It was like a consecutive line of them with cancer, body cancer, lung cancer, all of this cancer. Beastie Boys, one of the best ones in the band, all of us got cancer. David Bowie, cancer.
I think
Bob Marley, cancer. It was like all of a sudden they were getting cancer. It's like they got the gift to play and then they got cancer. I was like, they're dying off one by one, or overdosing, or something horrible. Like we talked about age, that one weird age everyone was dying off.
Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin.
Yep.
Weird. It's like their time expired.
Do you guys remember when everybody's iPhone had the U2 album downloaded on it overnight?
Everybody.
That was so messed up. So I think they paid a certain price for that.
They signed a contract with Apple, and I remember that because that's when Ozzy Osbourne's wife, whatever her name was, saying they're a bunch of sellouts for doing that.
Yeah,
and they just help every other person out there to not be able to get contracts because now all the big bands are signing with all the big, huge streaming services.
Yeah, they've got the boost of whatever it was. It gave it to them as a message giver, but then they were done. Then they were done. They were thrown away by whatever it was.
And that album that he's talking about is a fucking shitty ass album too.
It also after that
song on that, so they like fucked Apple all the way. They got rich, extra money, and gave them crappy songs.
Well, there's an example. There's an example of what we talked about. There was a period where you could do no wrong. And then all of a sudden, all of them just became shit. Like it just stopped for them. Like what happened? It just all of the band.
The juice is
small few. Go ahead.
The juice is gone. That's all I can say. They get so much, and it's how you use it. You can use it with the party and with the bright lights, but it goes quick, man. Yeah. I'm not interested in the other side. And all those people that died of cancer, they were either trying to exploit it and try to tell everybody about it, or just caught in a misfire. And I hate to see it, 100%.
I hate to see it. Something happened. Like David Bowie was the biggest example for me because he is one of my biggest discrepancy errors. I remember driving to work, listening to the radio that he died, and they were playing a marathon of fucking David Bowie, and I'm like, oh man, he died. This is before 2016, and I remember clearly. And then coming back home, I'm going to catch David Bowie at lunchtime. I was playing his songs, and then at coming home, I was a big fan. They were still playing his music. They're still talking all about how he owned himself. He was like one of the first artists to actually own himself, his own title, own his own name, his own person, which is rare in the industry. And then all of a sudden, in 2016, whatever happened. I mean, I'm like, David Bowie's on the radio. What the fuck? He's dead. And then they were playing these weird songs, the Black Star.
Yeah, Dark Side of the Moon, like
Dark
weird
Side of the Moon.
Nibiru, it's Planet X. Very weird stuff.
Astronauts.
The Earth.
Now, Bob,
play. I was like, he had a play? He's had a play? I checked out some of the stuff on the play. I haven't got the whole play. I'm trying to find it. It's hard to find, to download, but amazing, not creepy. Lots of magic being performed. Lots of rituals being performed.
Let's talk about magic. Now, you mentioned whatever that magic, Beastie Boys magic.
Yeah.
Now, let's go back. Let me ask you about this Matrix and kind of a magic thing that happened to a musician in a band that. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out how he did this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go back to the Beach Boys. Now everybody's like, the Beach Boys. Hold on.
Yeah.
Beach Boys. One of the most top 10 albums where they're calling it genius, where it's almost like 99 out of 100, is an album called Pet Sounds. Okay. With all the wonderful sounds in it, and it's all created by the number one guy in the Beach Boys, Brian Wilson.
Brian Wilson.
Okay. Brian Wilson. Now hear this.
I know where you're going.
When Brian Wilson, before they got big, Brian Wilson, they had a parent who was abusive to them.
Yeah,
their father hit Brian Wilson so hard in the head. Look this up, guys. It's even in the movie. That caused his hearing to almost go away in one ear. So, how can a man that has almost no hearing in the ear come up with this magical album, Pet Sounds, that has all these creative sounds in it that inspired the Beatles to make their albums going that creative? Bob, how can a guy that can almost not hear create an album like that?
He's an anomaly for me, and I don't want people to repeat what I'm saying, because I have a misremembering on him. He died for me. He was he went into recluse. This is how I remember him. I remember him becoming an alcoholic. I remember him there's a certain time when after the drummer died, they were starting to go into drugs more and more around that time.
Well, he does have mental illness. He's on medication.
He became agoraphobic, or they call it agoraphobia. He had agoraphobia, so he locked himself away. And then he to me, I remember him dying. Okay, now I'm wrong. Everyone knows that, but he died. But he was inspired by something, and I remember him going to that deep depression, but the music was coming out so goddamn good. The guy could not stop making great music. He got dark, and there's a dark album that freaks me out from the Beach Boys. You remember there's an album with an Indian on it. In fact, to me, it's changed positions. It used to be one way, now it's the other way. He's got a Native American with holding a spear. He's on a horse. He's leading forward on a horse. It's a famous picture.
I'm gonna look that up, but I just wanted to show people what I'm talking about. How did Brian Wilson lose his hearing? The old story was his dad did something made him dad angry, and Buddy swung a lead pipe at the side of my dad's head. His ear was hanging off. They rushed him to the doctor, and eventually it was okay again.
Oh.
I wasn't there, but Brian was formerly Beach Boy, extreme diminished hearing in the right ear from unknown cause. The theories that he may have been born this way, but the other theory is that he suffered a blow to his head at a young age, and that's in the movie that he was hitting the head. Now, Bob, you said there's an album with an Indian on it.
Yeah, look up the albums. There's an album that was very dark. It was dark. Now, the thing is, I have never heard of that album, and I was like, all of a sudden, how did I ever miss this album? And the fact that I think it came out after my memory of him dying. So again, people just debunk this completely. Okay, this is around the time, of course, I was smoking a lot of weed, taking a lot of pills from the Veterans Administration. Obviously, I'm wrong, but he come out with this dark album. It reminded me. It's cool you brought. There it is. Now I remember that the native facing the other direction. This album came out after I thought he'd already died, and it reminds me of David Bowie's album after he had died, and then he died again in 2016. I'm like, what? But before he died, he come out with his dark, weird album. This is another I call it the Shadow album after a death memory. Like I remember him dying and then being dead, and then this album comes out of nowhere, and he's been alive. Is he still alive now?
Yes.
That's fucking weird for me. But
it's very weird. Just because, Bare Naked Ladies, they dropped the song "Lying in Bed," just like Brian Wilson did. And that talks about him dying. But also the Beach Boys were very close with the Manson family. So I just want to throw that out there, that there was a bunch of CIA and psychedelics and a lot of true magic happening in those hills.
Yeah,
and
you're right.
My last little fun fact, Mac Miller dropped a song called Pet Sounds, which is clear homage. And then Mac Miller was sacrificed, shortly after.
Yeah.
And in a crazy ritual. So if you look into the numbers that are behind it, it says it right there. It was all planned out. It's truly crazy.
Yeah. One of the band members, was housing Charles Manson's family. At his house. Yes. Brian Wilson, Gabriel got his autograph. Actually, in LA, he met Brian Wilson and actually got his autograph.
And there seems to be a lot of discrepancy errors with the whole family and how the ritual killing has changed, and all those, a whole genre of misrememberings when it comes down to the actual act when they did the murder. Is a huge, people did whole Vex channels about it and stuff. I'm like, it's weird. I don't remember certain things, but it's another dark history. And then old Manson got put away eventually. He's fucking crazy, but was he CIA, or I don't know. Did they release him, give him a list of things to do, or did the Matrix and stuff? Was he a pawn?
Here,
whatever it is up there to do these
today.
This is the Beach Boy right here. Dennis was the only true surfer in the Beach Boys, and his personal life exemplified the California myth that the band's early songs often celebrated. He was also known for his brief association with Charles Manson, a cult leader and songwriter, later convicted of several murders.
Yeah. And look what says associated acts. Daryl Dragon. Come on, guys. The serpent is Dragon. Here. It's right there. Produced by who? Stein and Berg. Come on. We already know.
There's the Berg. There it is. That goes back to my list. I'm going to add it to all the other. Anything with a discrepancy has that Berg or Stern or Steen, or has a certain Hebrew-ish element to the, always a little bit of that to it. But that's weird. That album I told you about, that was, if you guys ever heard that album, it's dark. It's like what the fuck is this? This is not the Beach Boys? What is this dark? He wrote it. He went into a weird when he was agoraphobic, and then he wrote that album, which is so deep, dark. I recommend everyone go listen to it. You'll be weirded at the same time. You're like, wow, what is this? It's the same thing with David Bowie's Dark Star album that seems to be relevant after whatever.
They know they're on their way out, you know?
Yeah. Something got them. Something tapped them. Something was in them. They were like the pinnacle of whatever happiness of this weird happy wave that came into the 80s. It kind of tapped itself out into the later 90s. And then all of a sudden it went dark. And then it went weird.
Well, remember when he started Experiment, one of his songs, his hit song off that album was called God Only Knows.
God. Oh, my favorite songs. One of my favorite all-time songs. Yeah. Oh, my God. I can listen to it now. I wish we could play it. We can't play it.
Hey, guys, do my little speed session before I dip out to do my interview with Tipper TV.
Cool. Baby.
Well, I'll start with some, ones that everybody knows about the Mandela effect. Jif versus Jiffy, Oscar Mayer or Mayer, Sex and the City or Sex in the City, No Monocle on the Monopoly Man, Pikachu's Yellow or Blacktail, Sinbad's Genie movie, Shazam. Is there a curve in the F in the Ford logo or is there not? How many people were in the car for JFK? Double stuff Oreo, is it spelled with one F or two Fs? I don't know. Flintstones or Flint Stones. That one was always close with me. I don't remember a T, but I don't really remember, Smokey the Bear or Smokey Bear, Kit Kat or Kit Dash Cat, JC Penney or JC Pennies, Hello Clarice or Good Morning. Everybody thinks it's Hello Clarice, but they try to say it's Good Morning. I, of course, remember Hello Clarice. Clarice. Most everybody else does.
Yeah.
Of course, I have Cheez-It or Cheez-Its with a Z at the end. Lord of the Rings, Run You Fools or Fly You Fools. Ooh. Mona Lisa, was she smiling or not? Fruit Loops, spelled F-O-R-O-O-T or F-R-U-I-T, and then Loops, spelled the same way, L-O-U-P-Z or L-O-O-P-Z. I know it's a little confusing with all the letters, but they've put a lot of different things. I've seen pictures of both. Of course, different countries, different releases, of course, fake cereal goes out. So there's always explanations. I'm just trying to open the door for people just so they can start thinking about it. Of course. The Challenger explosion, everybody thinks that happened. You could still call all those people. They're still, college professors. Curious George, did he have a tail or not? Neil Armstrong, they said he died. A lot of people say he's still alive to this day. Berenstain or Berenstein. Gremlins, the villain, was it Spike or Stripe? Looney Tunes, Tunes or Toons? I don't know. And Skechers, the shoes, did it have a T in it? Febreze, was it spelled with two E's or just one? And then the Tank Man, we all remember that guy standing right in front of the tank. Did he get ran over and crushed, or did they go around him or escort him out? We all remember different things.
Yeah.
On the Pillsbury Doughboy, was it a blue scarf or a white scarf? I think a blue scarf. Why would they put a white scarf on a white Doughboy? Then now they're saying bananas are starting to grow upside down. So they say the whole world has shifted. I don't know about that. I think it's fun, but come on, guys. The Buddha of Nara, the statue, is now opening its eyes, which people thought it was closing its eyes. And then another fun one I got is the statue of the thinker. Do you guys remember if it's like this, holding it, his chin, or down, like his head like this? I've seen pictures of both, but very interesting. I hope you guys think about it. Avril Lavigne, there's a Skater Boy music video, and there's been a lot of scenes that have been changed through time. Of course, we've already touched on it.
Yeah.
You know, once it hits the studio, it's not in Avril's control anymore.
Exactly.
Or the song that never ends. Is it the song that doesn't end, or is it the song that never ends? I don't know. Yeah. The Converse logo. Now they're saying it's on the inside of the shoe, but we always remembered it being on the outside of the shoe. What would be the point on putting it on the inside of the shoe?
It's outside the shoe.
Night at the museum. We guys remember boom, boom, firepower. You know, it was a saying with a lot of people, but it's actually boom, bang. Pretty dorky. A lot of people think Chick-fil-A is a new company, but actually it was founded in 1946. Is it spelled with a K or just CHIC dash? Yeah. You know, we don't know. George Washington and James Madison, we always remembered them with curly hair in the roles. Now, if you look them up, they have straight hair. Very weird. Know that. Oprah used to be spelled like opera. Weird. Size of Alaska has changed over the years. We are the champions of the world, right? I thought it was like that ending, but now it just ends right after champions. And then I just watched a video from Kyra Green. She does some newer Mandela effects for our younger audience, some people my age, you know. Harry Potter in Philosopher's Stone, Sorcerer's Stone, the first one, it has changed some lines, but she has memorized every line of multiple Harry Potter movies with one of her best friends. And now she rewatches them and she speaks as they're going. And then she catches the changes live in action with her best friend. And that is like super trippy. Kyra Green, would love to have you on, you know, I'm sure Gypsy Road and the Horror Talk Show, Bigfoot Anonymous. We love your work, but I'm going to dive a little more. Matilda. There's a transformation scene. We always remember 3 different transformations. You know, young, teenager, older Matilda. Now it just skips the middle one, of course. Shrek, the gingerbread man. Not the gumdrop. Now it says not my gumdrop. And, you know, it's, of course, things can change just like that. The Hellman's Mayo. There's 2 L's and 2 N's now. It looks totally off. Harry's scar is now right in the middle of his head. I always remembered it right like on the ankle. And then the song One Republic, Apologize. There's no need to apologize. They totally erased like this back sound that, you know, generations remember. And then my favorite and my last one, the spelling of Niagara Falls. Come on, guys. Niagara. 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 But Niagara. Oh, I'm going to Niagara Falls. Yeah. Come on, guys. We got to stop letting them write our future. We got to. I'm about out of here. Erie Swamps road trip to Eden. It's always a trip, guys. I'm super excited to link up in the future with you guys. And Damien G and Sharkton Kana, chocolates and candy, you know, crooks and crime. They're all out there, guys. Stay woke, stay up, and stay positive, guys. And look for me on Tippa TV. I'm about to get ready for that and link up with them. It's a Bigfoot show.
You should drop a link in the chat.
Yeah, link.
Yeah, I definitely will. I will try. I'll try to find it real quick. Anybody searches Tippa TV, TIPA TV, and it's like learning Bigfoot with Connor Flynn, and about to do a live show with them. I'm gonna change my shirt into some Bigfoot attire and get groovy with it. So I'm definitely looking forward to, you know, tomorrow Horror Talk. We're talking about the top 10 horror franchises according to the numbers, but best believe me and Eric will have our own list and different types of actions we're gonna get into. But definitely take it easy, guys. I appreciate y'all.
All right.
I found the link.
Cool.
I'll put it in there.
That's what it looks like. Thank you. We're about 18 minutes to it. I'm about to get in the pre-show and talk to them and meet them. It's a paranormal investigating team, husband and wife, I'm pretty sure, and they're just tapping into the Bigfoot world. So I'm really pumped to tell them about my stories, my encounters, my theories. Nice. And I'm definitely going to mention that I was just on a Mandela Effect show with Gypsy Road, and hopefully they, will be guests one day. I know Rooted Expressions, another good investigator, is going to be co-hosting with them. So I'm looking forward to it, guys. Definitely look out for me. And if you guys show up in the chat, tell them Gypsy Road sent you. Of course, we got to rep this family.
Damn straight.
100%, y'all.
Well, you have a good one.
Yes, I'll talk to you soon. Take it easy, guys.
All right.
Later, awesome.
Later. That was cool, man. Yeah, I miss having the talk show. I miss having a time. I'm sure everybody in the sidebar is having a good time. Both sides, everybody's equal. All the camps are there. The debunkers are in full force. The people that remember things are in full force. Everybody's having a great time.
It is a great time, and any effect is going to be a personal to some people for whatever reason, personal. And because it has to be personal. You know, like no, he mentioned Chick-fil-A because he lives on the east side of the country. Yeah, where they had Chick-fil-A forever. We did not. So that could be more personal for him, where for us, we never had Chick-fil-A. Yeah. I can't sit here and tell you how that's spelled because we never had it here until recently.
Yeah, well, there is a small movement of the youth. There was a large, big push for like the 80s discrepancy errors, and everyone's having, this has changed. What the fuck is going on? And then all of a sudden, it just kind of everyone's like, everything's died out. There's nothing really changing or no discussions on anything. Well, it's just because it's moved past that, and now it's more of the youth are coming up with like, hey, the younger people are going, hey, this has changed. What's going on? Or they're misremembering that something has changed.
See, I'm thinking, because this is like I said, Bob, like you said, you and I we're just shooting this out there. I think the biggest problem is too many people are taking the Mandela effect and saying it's only real if it comes from certain people. Yeah. And when new people are seeing some changes and they talk about it, and you know, the first thing from older channels or older whatever, I think they're afraid. And hear me out. Yeah. I think they're afraid. So when they get afraid seeing other people talking about some changes, the first thing they're going to say is, well, what's your residue? What's your residue? And I think they're afraid of other people having open minds and seeing effects for yourself. Kind of like you and I, probably the only channel that ever said meatballs. Bill Murray had 13 now. But an older person, I'm not saying names, what's your residue? I think they're afraid of seeing other people having such an open mind and doing their own shows.
Yeah, and the fact that you and I have multiple different memories, and we tell people, everyone's like, Eric and I are brothers, and we have separate memories, including we have separate memories in life situations, traumatic situations in our lives, and we're both going, do you remember it like this? Not remember. Me and the cousins, when I went back home, we have everything's the same, but all of a sudden we'll have traumatic events with like a slight difference. And again, it goes back to debunking. Well, we were kids. So if it's traumatic, then I would remember this. You would remember that. You would remember this. Obviously, we'll put that on the table. That's what it is, most likely is. However, it still makes us go, what the fuck, dude? I could swear to God, like you shot out the window and Big John's, we talk about that. I'm like, no, you did not. Eric, I talked to her cousin. I said, hey, do you remember when Eric shot the window out of Big John, or our great Big John, our great uncle window? And he goes, no, he didn't shoot out the window. I said, you remember when that one day when I went off the cliff and then he didn't shoot it there. It was a much later time at another campsite. Not when Eric. And then I talked to this individual. Hey, do you remember this, and this? No, I don't remember that like happening like that. We've had separate. I'm like, oh, this is fucking crazy because we're family. We were together.
I know. I think if you took all the Mandelas at 100%, I think there's only 10% that could be related to you. There is no way maybe you can be a person and say everyone's real to you.
Like 5%. Some people maybe 1%. You know, it's like you 1%. Got one, which okay, that's for you. And that's for you to hold inside, either feel crazy about it or not feel crazy. The idea is I want everyone to understand you're not crazy. You're not, no matter how you remember it. If it's not that way for you, that's awesome. You're not crazy either way. You're fine.
Your memory.
Remember the pillow was, I specifically walked into the fucking place to have this made. It was the old traffic light colors, green, yellow, red, and that green and yellow swapped spots on this fucking pillow that I've held up hundreds of times during the show. And I've had people send me emails saying, dude, I remember when it was green, yellow, red. Your colors swapped. I said, I know. You're not crazy because I have the same memory, but there it is. It's not something on the internet. It's not something I had made. So either I'm crazy and got it wrong, or other people that have remembered it the way that watched my shows religiously say, dude, it was green, yellow, red. I don't know. It physically changed.
Yeah. And I can't sit here and remember what color it was for you. I don't remember what your original color was, but that's fine.
Yeah, and some people can't remember. I mean, people that I've trusted, do you remember if it was well, maybe it was okay. That's fine. I'm not mad. I don't care. It was green, yellow, red. And like you yourself, you've seen this. This has been in the background several hundred shows, and you can't remember, which is 100% correct to say that. I appreciate that. That really helps out with a lot of people saying, I don't remember that way. Well, good. You Eric don't either. Doesn't mean anything. You're fine. Good for you. It's fine. Don't feel bad. Oh, there you are with your show. Empire Strikes Back.
Well, okay. Now, I'm not here to prove paranormal is real. You know, I did a digital recording, and just for fun. And the only thing I caught the whole day was just one little sound. And I like when you're in the chat, you said it sounded like you said dick. but it was just for fun. But guys, I want you to hear it. It's probably just a kid in the background, didn't realize it, caught it. But for fun, guys, we've only got 10 minutes left. This is a show that I did yesterday about the 1849 Central College, about the real history, but we did a paranormal there for fun. And I want you guys just to hear this part. I played what I caught on digital camera, or no, on digital recording 4 times on here. So just listen. That's idiotic. Are you here today? Are you here with us? Now, I can't. It doesn't sound like no word to me at all. It is probably just a glitch that caught in the background.
Yeah.
But Bob, when you wrote the word dick, did you think that's what it said?
Well, I don't know what it said. I'm sure it's something completely different, but just for the fun of it, I put it saying dick. 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 Dick.
Here we go again. Is there unfinished business? No, that's a stupid question. I'm not going to do something bad. That was dumb. That's idiotic. Yeah, that was. Are you here today? Are you here with us?
Or is it thick? Thick.
Like I said, it could be anything, but it's just kind of fun because what I'm trying to show is sometimes, you know, that word could have been caught. Maybe a kid says something in the background somehow. It just caught him saying it. And now you said the word thick. And I bet you if I was on a TV show and I said, it said thick, what does that mean? Thick. I just planted a word in somebody's mouth. But it was fun.
Thick.
It was the only thing that out of the whole recording, the only thing that could have matched up with somebody saying something.
Interesting, though. At least it made a ick. Thick. Ick. Was that a girl or a guy? Was that a female? I can't tell.
E. Blake. But now there's a grave over here, Bob, that actually had our last name.
No.
Right here. You see it? It says Wood.
It's like Marty McFly.
It says Wood right there.
Is that what it says?
Yeah. His last name of this grave has our last name, Wood.
I'm disappearing, dude. I need to go back in time and fix that. Shit.
Watch. Let me see what it says here.
Was I shot?
Name is Wood. You guys don't know this. This last name is Wood. I did not know this. Does it mean anything? No. But it Doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean shit. But it was cool seeing our last name there. Even back in the 1850, whatever this person died, our last name goes all the way back there.
Well, yeah, we were ours came back from our fuck. We used to be in an electronic box at the base of the Statue of Liberty on Ellis Island, which I was supposed to go look at. It was supposed to talk about our family was in it. One of the first families to come over that, of course, obviously had money, because why else would they be in the electronic box? The whole family history. But now that box is, I don't know if that box is there. And the Statue of Liberty is sitting on a different island on Fort Wood. So the Wood Fort is at the bottom, named after a relative of ours. And I would not doubt if that is not a relative of ours also. Obviously a relative of ours from way back.
I mean, you never know.
100%.
No, you never know. And it was just fun going to these places.
Yeah. And you got to see the Underground Railroad. The Underground Railroad. But again, from what I learned in anthropology and at the University of Washington, was a lot of those Underground Railroads were setups to get people to come up, freed slaves, which is awesome. They'd make their way up there and then they'd put them to work, especially in Canada. Right back to work again. You want to be free, you have to go back to work. Poor guys. Indentured servanthood. That's what they well, now you're an indentured servant. Now that we freed you, you've got to do 5 years of service. And then, of course, you never get out of that debt, that work debt. A lot of white slaves, a lot of Irish indentured servants came to the United States. A lot of Scottish indentured servants, people that couldn't pay for their passage to come to the United States. You were labeled indentured servant, which means you had to serve at the minimum 5 years of labor on somebody's private land that paid for your voyage, that brought you over. And then even then, during that 5 years, if you were incarcerated or you're in trouble or on that property, the owner that owns your contract could redo the contract for more days of indentured servanthood. So most people that come over that were white or any color were originally indentured servants. When it comes to slavery, I want everyone to understand there was black slaves, white slaves, all nationality slaves. Everybody, the Chinese that came through a Chinese contractor were themselves indentured servants. Everybody was a goddamn slave. And now we're all debt slaves. Slavery has never gone away. It's just something they're playing with. They're showing you a slave. No, man, everybody's a slave. I'm a slave. Eric, you're a slave. We're all slaves. Everybody is. You're an indentured servant or you're a debt servant.
We're here to make the rich people rich.
Yeah. That's the way it's been. So don't trust anything. History is wrong. All across the fucking board, man.
Man, I didn't realize I've been walking this long. I'm walking to the private graveyard.
Yeah.
I'm walking to the private graveyard. That's what was so cool about these graveyards. That I've been on these graveyards where almost nobody goes on. Like this one is private, so nobody really goes on these private graveyards. So they're like undisturbed graves.
Yeah, I recognize that redhead guy you're with. I thought he was gay. So he has a son. I did. I actually thought he was gay. In my reality, he was gay.
No, he's a married man. A lot of kids.
Okay. Well, hey, everybody changes. Okay, cool. I remember him specifically being a queer. But nothing wrong with you guys. You know, I'm not going to judge you. Judge not list. He's be judged. So that's cool. He's got a son. That's cool.
Damn.
What's that?
I'm just exhausted watching myself walk this far out.
I'm watching you too. You're not very handsome. You do know that.
Oh, what are you talking about? I'm the most handsome guy there is.
You know, realize the truth about certain things. Okay. I'm playing with you, dude. You need to wear that damn hat. That's what you need to.
Oh, there it is. Oh no, that's where I start to go inside to look for Bigfoot.
Oh.
Yeah, like I said, that's coming out when I get done, because like I said, I got to do research on private land. That's what's cool. There it was on, there weren't, Bob, you've been out those countries.
Oh, yeah, I've been in whole area.
They're private lands where nobody goes on them, or you can get shot.
Now, are they still Jehovah's Witnesses all up in that? Are they all up there? Jehovah's Witnesses still up there? Well,
they're everywhere. I mean, they're
because I remember like the majority of them were Jehovah's Witnesses. It kind of freaked me out a little bit. I mean, nothing wrong with them. They just believe a little bit different. I want to know. I was hoping you would find out. I was going to send you a text. I didn't want you to get in trouble. I was going to ask the Jehovah's Witnesses if they remember the lion laying with the lamb, or was it a wolf? See what they would say. Just really fuck them up. Let's see what they would say. But I didn't want you to ruin your vacation, because that would set off a fucking firestorm. Boy, don't do that. Don't do that.
Well, sometimes in life we all need a vacation. We all need to debrief and just
impress.
And then when you come back, you got a fresh mind to start looking at everything again.
Yeah,
I was able to study some more on some channels, study more, and you realize how more full of shit people really are out there. It doesn't matter what farm. I asked one. I asked one that question.
You asked someone that question if it was the lion or the lamb. Yeah, I'm not a cat person, so I'm not a Christian either, so I don't mind any changes. To me, people ask me, "What do you think about if there's a Bible?" I said, "Well, hypothetically, if the Bible has changed, then a man wrote it, so anything a man writes changes."
I don't really ask anybody Bible questions because, honest, I told everybody I never read the Bible. I fucking told me the lion lay with the fucking elephant. I would say, okay, probably. Yeah. And I bet you 70% of the people who are saying this is a Mandela for them, they're just lying because I guarantee 70% of the people never read the Bible. They're just taking what you heard from other people.
Well, it goes to show. It kind of tells you exactly who read it and who didn't. It really does. And it tells you people that pretend to have read it. It even if you look at it more as a lesson learned, as more of a social experiment of who really read. I've talked to people, Christian. Like, did you read the Bible? Yeah, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. You didn't. Yeah. Did you read this book? Yeah, I didn't. No, you didn't. Did you read a book on? Did you read a book on how to play chess? Yeah, I did. No, you didn't. You didn't, because I know you.
And so we're basically at the mark, and just letting everybody know. Yeah. I will be doing a horror talk show tomorrow. If you guys are interested, I just put the link in the chat. The top 10 horror franchise by the numbers. I did some research and philosophied numbers, and if you guys are not into it, that's cool. But if you are, you'll be surprised on what's actually on this list of top 10 franchise. You'd be shocked on what's number 10. I was shocked. Like, what? This is number 10? What? This is actually number 1? And the numbers are based on watch, critics, regular people, everything. So this is a really cool. It's gonna be fun tomorrow. And then
The Exorcist is not on there. The Exorcist didn't make it on the list.
Well, top 10. Now there's only 5 pictures there. There's a total of 10. I didn't want to put all 10 on there.
Okay, I got you.
So I didn't want to put all 10 so people can think what it is. Okay. I didn't even put the link of where this information came from, so people can do it. I don't have the link up for Friday's show yet because I just got back just like a day ago. But Friday, let's just say, I want you guys to everybody in the chat. I want you guys to all rewatch Risky Business.
Yes,
that's one of 2 movies we're going to talk about on Friday, about one of the most famous changes of ever in almost any movie ever. The pink shirt versus the white shirt. So I want you guys to do your research, find out information, find out whatever you know about Risky Business. We're gonna break it down, and there's a couple other movies that's gonna be along with the title for Friday. So basically, it's another Mandela Effect rewatch.
Yeah, so, and for those of you guys that debunk, don't be afraid. You're welcome to the sidebar. You're welcome to put it in opposition. You're welcome to debunk it. That's what we do here. Those who remember, you're not insulted by it. We're all friends. So everyone goes, yeah, okay, I'll take that in consideration. Okay.
Yeah, and Black Mulberry, yeah. No sunglasses. Yeah, the dancing. We're gonna break it down. We're gonna try to figure out what happened to it. Where did it go? Is there something special about not having glasses now?
Yeah, I want to watch it close.
So that's going to be kind of fun, and we'll probably talk a little bit about the meatballs, the number 13.
Yeah,
on there, and I want to talk a little bit on Friday also the Da Vinci Code with Tom Hanks.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh God. Da Vinci Code. So the two main movies to watch for Fridays: Da Vinci Code and Risky Business.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch
that. Are there messages? Are they trying to tell us something?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to find out if there's a pattern, if there's some codes, if there's a pattern, if there's not a pattern, if it's misremembering. Yeah.
Losing It with Tom Cruise, that was a good one too. Losing It. There's some things about that.
Yeah, this is gonna be good. Yeah. So, I like breaking them. I like to crack this egg open.
Yeah. So I don't have that link up yet, but I just want to tell you guys, you can start doing some research for it on Friday. So beyond that, guys, we're gonna end the show. I'm gonna end it with my new intro that I created for the show. Hopefully, guys, if none of you guys seen the new intro in the beginning, I changed it up a little bit. Here's the new intro to the end of the show. Here we go.
But as the day when the world declared in one voice, we will not go quietly into the night, we will not vanish without a fight, we're going to live on. We're going to survive. Today, we celebrate our Independence Day.
It's not true. It doesn't matter what's true. It matters the story they tell when you're gone.
I keep on pushing down my gypsy road.